Sneaker reselling is dying in 2024 because Nike and other companies are releasing more sneakers. Haven't you noticed? They're releasing every sneaker that you want them to release because they're tired of you guys going to reps and used sneaker markets. This may seem like an unemployment line, but it's actually a line full of broke resellers trying to cash their checks. They're trying to get the EBT and the food stamps so they can feed themselves and eventually avoid eating all their sneakers for dinner. So reselling depends on scarcity. The limited availability of sneakers allows resellers to profit like crazy, right? So what Nike is doing to counteract the scarcity in the market is by simply releasing more sneakers. It's basic economics, supply and demand. Many resellers simply rely on the scarcity of sneakers to make a profit. They have no other skills to offer. They don't clean sneakers, they don't restore sneakers. They just simply depend on, let me get a profit, let me make a check. Without the scarcity of sneakers being present in the market, they aren't able to make as much bucks as they wanted to like they did in the past. And you know what? A lot of you guys, like the people that are watching this video, y'all have swallowed the red pill. You have become Neo from the Matrix. You're able to do kung fu moves while you dodge bullets. You have truly unlocked your inner skill. And what you have done is you realize that, hey, you know what? We don't actually have to play the little game anymore. We control the market. Yeah, the people control the market at the end of the day. And you guys have realized sneakers aren't as rare as they appear. Actually, there's an abundance of sneakers. It may not be the hype sneakers that the resellers are trying to sell back to us, but you can go to other brands. Skechers, New Balance, Asics, Puma, I don't know, K-Swiss. Give K-Swiss a chance. I mean, there are so many different options for us nowadays that we don't have to rely on the resellers just to give us back sneakers. And let's be real, the scarcity of sneakers is kind of artificially generated. One, from the companies, they limit how many sneakers are released in the market. Two, the resellers themselves also manipulate the game by backdooring and scalping and buying up all the sneakers. They control how many people can get access to a sneaker. But what they realize is that most of the time they're buying sneakers for themselves because nobody else wants to buy them from them. And let's be real, it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to make the money for the rent nowadays. 2024, bread's expensive, gas expensive, attention spans very expensive. Everything just seems to be going up and up, except my girlfriend's love for me, dog. She's on the streets right now. But I know one thing for certain, sneakers are not a necessity. Therefore, people aren't going to keep spending their money on them over and over again, dog. It's just not how the thing works. It's not a priority to a lot of us. When you're focused on feeding yourselves, keeping the lights on, making sure rent's paid, you don't have excess money to spend on sneakers. And like I said earlier, ironically, most of the people who end up buying sneakers on the resale market are resellers themselves. If the resellers are struggling, they can't buy sneakers for resale. Now, whole little money cycle is kind of messed up right now because it's obvious that you guys can't make a profit off each other. All this makes sense. The fact that resellers are suffering, the market's down, but how does this bother Nike? Why is Nike so bothered by sneaker resellers? Well, here's a couple of things, right? So when the scalpers buy up all the sneakers and they don't have the ability to sell them, right? They go on StockX and the sneakers sit under retail, cheaper than what they go for on Nike. So if people realize, hey, you know what? We can force a sneaker to go below its average retail price. All we have to do is just refuse to buy the sneaker on the resale market and force it to sit. Eventually, the price is going to go under retail. We can get a $200 sneaker for $150. That hurts Nike because now their sneakers at retail, they don't seem that appealing, so they have to go to the outlets. They got to offer 30% off. They have to compete with a broken resale market. So what they realize is, you know what? People are upset at the fact that they can't get the sneakers that they want, so we need to release as many as we can so that people can get them at a retail price, keep the hype somewhat high, and then we can meet the demand for the sneakers. Honestly, in an ideal economy, resale does benefit Nike. In an ideal, healthy sneaker market, resellers actually help Nike keep their retail price high because they help increase the demand of sneakers. But when the broken practices start to kick in, the false scarcity, the backdooring, the scalping, when the consumer isn't happy, it destroys the market, and then you have what we have right now. Simply put, when sneakers are expensive, consumers don't want to spend their money. Truth is, many resellers artificially enhance their odds of getting sneakers. It's unfair. They use bots, they backdoor, they scalp. It makes the game so unfair that it just kicks the average consumer out the market because they don't have the money and the resources to compete with y'all. On top of that, this kind of taints Nike's perception of the current sneaker game. To them, all they're looking at is how many pairs were we able to sell at first, right? So when they have like a Jordan 4 release and all the resellers buy up the Jordan 4s, but they don't move on the resale market, Nike thinks they have a perfect volume to purchase ratio when it comes comes to sneakers. In actuality, only like 30 resellers bought up all the sneakers. They only have a true core audience of about 30 people, which isn't good for them because that doesn't allow the brand to grow. It doesn't allow the brand to succeed. And like I said earlier, it drives down the retail price of these products. The companies really just want to combat resellers. Not only are they releasing more sneakers, they're cracking down on reps and sneaker authentication. You can see that Nike's trying to get more involved in the sneaker authentication game. If people have a deep distrust in what they're getting, they're going to go to the other third-party markets to get their sneakers at the end of the day. On top of that, they're also starting to release used sneakers because used sneakers are really popular nowadays. They're cheaper, it's easier to negotiate on them, and they're more available than new sneakers, if I'm being honest. New sneakers are great for people who just want to get a fair sneaker from the past without having to do all the retail work. You don't have to wait until Nike releases it. The companies have started to realize, like, hey, if we start releasing our own certified refurbished used sneakers, people will come to us instead of going on eBay and go and trying to get sneakers from there. And have you noticed that every sneaker that you guys have asked for, they started to release every day? I see, oh my God, new Jordan 5 white cement 2025, this sneaker coming out in 2026. They just keep making it abundant, not only with the quantity of pairs, but also the variety of pairs as well. So if there's a sneaker from the past that you've wanted that you weren't able to get, there's a good chance that it's going to re-release sometime in the near future, which is good for you guys because that means you guys are going to be more invested in what Nike and the other companies are doing. You're more invested in their release calendar. You're more likely to buy the sneakers at retail. You're going to wait before you go out and pay resale for a sneaker. Ultimately, the companies just want a cut of the check, bro. They want some of that cheese and some of that cheddar. So resellers, what can you do in 2024 to make sure the whole market isn't dying? You need to connect with the community. I'm not saying all resellers are these scummy people who just scalp and resell sneakers, but the people who really build a true community are the ones who are succeeding. You can see all over YouTube, the most popular channels that are sneaker resellers, they're the ones that are building a community with the people. If you're building a community with the consumers, I promise you they'll feel a little bit more comfortable coming to you, not only out of trust, but you'll work with them on the price a little bit. But if you're just some guy who's going on StockX trying to flip a sneaker, hey, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna sell it quick on the app, you have no face, you have no name, you're gonna suffer, buddy. Your time is up. Let me know. Are you a reseller? Is the pocket running dry?